everyone, it's Beth and welcome back to The Books Are Everywhere. So I think this is going to be the vlog where I can't see the whole week because I need to call my fringe again. But anyway, I thought I would do a vlog this week, my first vlog on this channel, because I am reading some really exciting things and I am reading some stuff that I want to talk to you about. So the first thing I'm currently reading is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I'm doing a challenge this year where I read a classic a month for the rest of the year, so 11 months because I missed January. So I'm doing a classic a month for the rest of the year, also recommended to me by my friends, and this one is the book for March that I chose because of the March sisters. See what I did there? So I'm reading this one. There's a bit of a weird story behind this one because I actually read this edition a couple of weeks ago and I finished this edition and I was like, hang on a minute. That's not what I expected to happen at the end of the story, and I was very confused, and basically I googled it and I was like, I know what happens at the end of the story, it didn't happen. And it came up with a thing about the book was basically written in two parts, so we had Little Women and Good Wives. I don't think they were written that far apart, but they were set 3 years apart, so Little Women is set 3 years before Good Wives is set. And Good Wives is like when they're a little bit older and they're all getting married and stuff. So that's what happened. Essentially, most editions, like this one, especially the adult ones, have both parts in. So like halfway through this one, it just goes to part 2. It doesn't even say, you know, Good Wives or anything. It just says part 2 and then the book starts. This one finishes at the end of part 1 because I presume because it's a children's edition, so it doesn't have like the slightly older young adult content of them like getting married and stuff. I really loved this. I was just like, I do want to read the rest of it, so I borrowed this off my boyfriend and I am now almost done with the second part of it. I am really enjoying it, but I also want to talk about it a little bit because I'm finding it like a really interesting experience to read this a couple of weeks apart because I can really see the differences in tone between them being like a little bit younger teens to older teens, and I thought that was a really interesting thing. And I am really enjoying it. I can see like a separation to like two books for me, whereas obviously I feel like most people would just read it as one, and that's the normal thing that most people do, whereas obviously my situation I've ended up reading it with two. But I'm kind of glad I have because it's left me to judge the 3-year difference, which I really like. And I definitely feel like the first part sits under children's, whereas the second part sits under young adult. Like there's just some themes, if you know the story of Little Women you'll probably know what I mean, but also like marriage themes and things like that are really discussed more in Good Wives than they are in Little Women. And there's just like a sense of playfulness that has been lost a little bit, and there's some like deeper tones left there where the like playfulness between the sisters was. And I think this is obviously partly because the sisters aren't actually together as much in Good Wives, and there's a lot more like chapters based on them somewhere else, one at a time, and like correspondence between all of them and stuff. But anyway, yeah, really enjoying it still, really glad I'm reading them separately or reading them like this. Yeah, I'm nearly done with that. I'm hoping to finish that today. And then I have a very exciting book that I'm going to read next, which I know a couple of my friends are really excited for me to read and really want me to read. And that is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. And this, I wasn't going to read yet, and now I've heard a few things about it that have made me, okay, like maybe I'll read it now. Usually I wait for the whole series to come out and read them all together, but from what I understand of this one, the plot won't necessarily continue throughout all of the books in the series, like in a timeline, and it might be more of like the same plot takes place but from a different character's point of view. So that's partly what changed my mind, and then partly it's because like everyone's been reading it and loving it so much and I'm like, I really want to be back in this world. Also, this is a chunky book and I thought it'd be a nice thing to kind of vlog. There will be no spoilers for A Court of Silver Flames in this video, so if you haven't read it, don't worry. I might talk a little bit about Sarah J Maas's writing. I think we all know what to expect there, and things like that, but I won't talk about it in context of the book, if that makes sense, so I won't be giving any spoilers. This is the tour edition for anyone that's wondering. This is the only edition I have right now, as my standard Waterstones exclusive edition is going to be waiting for me at work when we go back to work, so I won't have that one for a while yet. So yeah, I'm going to read this edition, but I'm super excited about that one, and I thought it would be a nice thing to vlog. I've also got a couple of things this week that I thought I'll vlog for you, like I'm going to make a cake this afternoon, so we will see that shortly. So I will see you later in the day probably. So I didn't really expect to be back so soon, but I have a parcel that I believe is book related. I can't think of anything else that I've ordered, and especially that would be marked down as fragile. So I have a feeling that it's not a book, but it is related to books. So I thought it'd be a nice thing to open on this video. This is a really stressful way to open this parcel. I'm kind of glad you can't see what I'm doing right now. And I just have scissors. Trying to get through all the tape on this. We're nearly there, maybe. I'm gonna actually just try and cut through it. Okay, we're in the box. And this is very bubble wrapped, which I appreciate. So much bubble wrap. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. So this, if anyone recognises it, it's from The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I think this was in the Illumicrate box. It was either Illumicrate or Owlcrate, but I'm pretty sure it was in the Illumicrate box. I did not know it was magnetised. So it's basically a magnetised photo frame, but on the frame it has this beautiful like constellation design that is I don't think it is the exact design of Addie LaRue, but it's very similar. And then there is this really nice art print inside, and when you put them on top of each other they look so pretty. I'm going to put this on my Addie LaRue shelf, so I'm going to go and do that now. And well, I say Addie LaRue shelf, it's taken over the shelf at the moment. Okay, it's now like on my V Schwab section of my shelf, and I have the beautiful pin here as well from the Illumicrate box. I didn't get the Illumicrate box, obviously. I'm just slowly collecting things that I wanted from it. And I also have the... no, they're not there anymore. They're here. The Owlcrate edition and the American hardback edition. The Owlcrate edition, my boyfriend got me for Valentine's Day, which I was really surprised. I really wanted it, but I just couldn't justify spending as much as they were going for on it. And then I bought the American hardcover from Blackwell's, but they don't fit on the other shelf, so that's why they're over here. So, not to turn this into the cooking channel, but I'm about to make a cake. Thought you'd enjoy coming on for the ride. I'm about to make a red velvet cake for my friend's 21st birthday, which is tomorrow, so I'll be doing a doorstep drop off of this cake for her and her presents. So yeah, I'm going to make a vegan red velvet cake from the website it doesn't taste like chicken.com. Yep, I'm really glad it's not going to taste like chicken. Feels like a really weird website name. So yeah, I'm just going to make this cake and probably show you how it goes and how it turns out. So let's give this a go. Thursday, so last night I finished Little Women. It was actually not as sad as I expected it to be. I thought I would cry, but I didn't cry. But it was still really sad. I really enjoyed it. So I finished the second half of Little Women, which is also called Good Wives if it is published separately, so it started like halfway through this book-ish. I think it was about 300 pages long in all, because it runs from here in the book, which just says part 2. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I read it separately because I feel like there is a definite distinction between like the first half being kids and the second half being young adult, just in like the playful tone of it and the way that the girls act around each other and they act towards other people, and also there's just so much more discussion of marriage in the second bit. So I definitely feel like I'm glad I read them separately, even though it was a complete accident, and I would kind of recommend it, just because I liked having the distinction between them. So yeah, that was Little Women, and then my next read is going to be something very different. It's going to be this beast. I'm also decided to take part in Becca and the Book's Bookoplathon? I don't know if I'm saying that right, this weekend, which I'm super excited about. I've never done a 48-hour readathon before, so I'm going to be vlogging that and trying to read as much as I can of this. I will have already started it by then because I'm going to start it tonight and it's only Thursday, and the readathon runs Saturday, Sunday, so we will see where that goes, but that's very exciting. Hi everyone, it's Friday. I'm just here with like a quick reading update. Basically, I didn't really update you. I did update you yesterday, but you didn't see me. I was really busy yesterday, but I did manage to carry on with A Court of Silver Flames. Start A Court of Silver Flames. So I am 75 pages in right now. Really loving it. Instant loving it. It's just so nice to be back in the world of ACOTAR and like with Nesta. I'm really intrigued to see where this is going to go with Nesta, because from what I've heard about this book, naturally you start off kind of not really liking her and she really comes across as a bit of a bitch, but then as the book goes on you can sympathise with her a bit more, so I'm really intrigued to see how Sarah J Maas writes Nesta's character. So yeah, can't wait to carry on with that. I'm also just so drawn to like how easy this is to read, and I'd forgotten how easy it is to just fly through these books. Like reading 75 pages just felt like reading nothing, like it was crazy. Especially I think after coming off the back of reading a classic. I'm just slower at reading classics naturally, so coming off reading a classic to reading this is definitely a big thing. Anyway, got a very exciting thing happening tomorrow and Sunday that I'm going to talk a little bit about now. I think I did mention this briefly yesterday, but my friend Alex has kind of sent me a video the other day and said that she's going to be joining in with this, and I ended up being like, oh, I want to join in too. And that is Becca's BOOKOPLATHON. I'm probably going to say this wrong a lot of times in this video. This is a 48-hour readathon that starts at midnight tonight and ends on midnight on Sunday night. This is a completely live readathon that runs for 48 hours and is on a lot of different people's channels. So this is hosted by Becca and the Books, and then a lot of other people are joining in and doing, I think it's 4-hour sprints. So the whole thing will be completely live with different people. So this starts tonight. There will be 8 prompts overall that will be chosen from Becca's BOOKOPLATHON board, and they are going to be released, I think at midday tomorrow she's going to release 2, and then at midnight another 2, and midday on Sunday there'll be another 2. So there's 2 at the moment that have been released, and then there'll be 2 tomorrow night and 2 Sunday. So you can read as many books as you want. You only have to complete 1 to kind of pass. There's not really many rules, or like the rules are very kind of broad. I am going to try and read a lot, but I don't actually really tend to read for more than like an hour and a half at a time. So I think it's going to be really interesting to try and read for like hours at a time. I've tried to make sure I have like nothing to do this weekend. I'm trying to work on assignments now and stuff, so I have nothing to do and I completely can focus on reading. I am going to try and read as much of this book as possible. I probably will start at midnight tonight because I do tend to be reading at about midnight anyway. So basically I'll read in the day a little sometimes, especially if I have a bath. I will always read in the bath, but a big chunk of my reading, like most of my reading, gets done after 11 p.m. and I'll read for about an hour and a half before I go to sleep. So I will probably be reading at midnight tonight for about an hour, and then I'll go to sleep and wake up tomorrow morning and carry on. I'm not going to stay up for this readathon, so I'm going to try and finish, well, I know finish this would be a massive thing for me if I could finish it, but I'm going to try and read as much of this as possible. So the prompts that have been released so far on the announcement video when Becca announced this readathon the other week, I think this was about 3 weeks ago, were to read a fantasy and to read a dark cover. I think the dark covered book. The other book I've chosen is The Black Flamingo. I've wanted to read this for a while, and my lovely friend Courtney gave this to me for Christmas because she absolutely loved it and thinks I will love it too. And this is a prose book. I read a few prose books last year, kind of for the first time, and I really liked them, so I am quite excited to read this one. I've heard so many good things about it and I think I'm going to love it. And I feel like this fits the dark colour. I mean, it's not light. I feel like it's like a dark pink colour, so yeah, really excited to read this. I'm just not sure how I'm going to play it because I don't tend to... It'd be unlike me to kind of just jump into this one knowing I still have like Silver Flames left to read, but I might like alternate reading them or try and like stop reading Silver Flames for a bit and read The Black Flamingo and then go back, because I don't think this is going to take me like too long to get through because it's prose. So I might do that. I'm just going to see how it goes tomorrow. Obviously I will be vlogging all of this, which I'm super excited about doing. It's my first 48-hour readathon, so I think I've only ever done like month or maybe week-long ones before, so excited. So I'll probably update you either like midnight tonight or tomorrow about this when I've started the readathon. I've now got a call for work because we go back in a couple of weeks and we're having some kind of training stuff, and then I have a class this afternoon, so it is a busy day for me, and then I'm going to start reading more of Silver Flames hopefully later today, so I will speak to you at some point. So it's midnight going into the 20th of March and we are literally just about to start reading for the BOOKOPLATHON. Becca has just gone live on her YouTube channel. I am just going to try and read a little bit before I go to bed just to start off the readathon, and then I will be carrying on reading tomorrow. I am on page 222, I think. Yeah, 222. I've just got to of A Court of Silver Flames. I've already read 150 pages today of this. So yeah, I'm hoping to read at least till page 300 tonight, but I'll update you before I actually go to sleep. But yeah, I won't be staying up massively late for this, but I do want to get some reading done before I sleep tonight, so yeah, I'll update you in a bit. It is now nearly 1:30 in the morning and I got to page 326. So I reached where I wanted to. I've read 100 pages in the readathon so far, and I have read 250 pages today, which is cool. Super excited to see how much I can read tomorrow when I am actually going to dedicate the day to reading. So I am actually not so far off halfway right now, which is really cool. Absolutely loving this, loving being back in the world. Yeah, it's a lot easier to read than I expected. I think I've just forgotten how kind of enthralling these books are and how writing is, so yeah, I'm absolutely loving it, so really glad I picked it up. And yeah, I will see you in the morning for some more reading. March today, and I have already been for a run, listened to some of my audiobook, which is King's Cage. Just thought I'd show you my outfit. I've got my Illuma Crate Late Night Readers Club jumper on, which also has this design on the back that you can kind of see. I also have cozy socks on today because, you know, I'm going to be reading all day. So yeah, I've been for a run, had a bath, which is why my hair is wet. Just going to show you my book. I am now halfway through Silver Flames. We've got Ashley's live stream on. They've just announced the second roll drop, which is exciting. So yeah, I was reading King's Cage on audio, which I'm going to count towards, like, I don't know if I'll count it in the readathon necessarily, but I do count my pages as reading, like, towards my page count, essentially. Even though it's an audiobook, I change my bookmark in the actual copy because that's what I like to do. So yeah, I'm just going to change my bookmark. I was on page 333, which was chapter 20, and I managed to read 2 chapters while I was running. So I'm now on, when I can find the chapter, 378, so that's 45 pages that I read. Then, yeah, I don't think I'm going to count this towards the readathon. I might, if it fits like a prompt tomorrow and I don't really know what to read, I might just try and finish this tomorrow because I've probably only got about just over 100 pages left. So there is a chance at some point that I decide, instead of like trying to read a full other book, that I like finish that one instead. Anyway, so yeah, I am halfway through A Court of Silver Flames, literally just got to page 375, which is exactly halfway through, 376 actually. So yeah, super happy about that. So yeah, I managed to read another 50 pages this afternoon, just while I was in the bath just now. So yeah, I managed to read another 50 pages today. Going to carry on with this one, read as much as possible, and I'm also going to show you my other book that I have lined up. I think I talked about this yesterday a little bit, but The Black Flamingo, which is what I had lined up for dark cover, also happens to fit the second to the roll drop prompts round 2, which is a contemporary and a person of colour rep. So this has a black main character and author, as far as I'm aware, so that is really cool. So if I do manage to finish A Court of Silver Flames at any point this weekend, I can move on to The Black Flamingo, safe in the knowledge it actually fits 3 prompts now, which is really cool. Next roll drop is at midnight tonight, so I will definitely be up for that and reading when it goes live, so exciting. Really enjoying this readathon so far and just like managing to read a lot, which is nice. I've read 300 pages of Silver Flames since 5 PM yesterday. Obviously all that doesn't count towards the readathon. I think 150 pages of it was in the readathon so far, so still quite excited. Gonna see how this goes today. Just gonna carry on reading Silver Flames right now, so yay. So, reading update, please ignore the washing that's behind me on the radiator. I am now 379 pages in, so I have around 270 pages to go, I think. Still loving it. I thought I actually haven't really updated you on my thoughts apart from that I'm loving it. I really like Nesta. It's not something that I expected to say, but I think Sarah J Maas writes her really well, writes her mental health really well, and what I presume is that she suffers from depression. I find that you just really don't see stuff like that written into fantasy. The only one that I can think of right now is The Storm Crow and The Crow Rider, in which the main character does suffer from depression. Definitely not something that is explored a lot in fantasy, so I really, really like that it is included in this book and that she talks kind of openly and honestly about her mental health. So yeah, I really, really like that. The only thing that is disappointing me slightly is that I don't feel so immersed in the world as I expected to. I think that's just because like I have such vivid memories of reading the ACOTAR series and especially A Court of Frost and Starlight. I just remember like Valaris being so vivid in my memory that I feel like sad that we haven't really seen that, but I have a feeling that we might be seeing it a little bit more soon. So yeah, I'm going to make some food and then I'm going to carry on reading and see how much I can get read today in the next section of this readathon. I have read, I think, 150 pages today so far of this, and obviously 45 pages of my audiobook, so very, very well done for me, considering I only read like 100 to 150 pages a day usually, so it's very exciting. I'm loving the reading sprints as well, so I will update you in a bit. Okay, it's almost 6 p.m. and I just finished A Court of Silver Flames. I'm still trying to process everything that's happened. I really, really enjoyed it. And I really liked the kind of talk of mental health, and I really liked Nesta as a character, and I was rooting for the character so much. I just missed the kind of location heavy talk of the city, which I think maybe I'm remembering mostly from Frost and Starlight, which I should give a reread at some point, but yeah, I feel like I'm mainly remembering it from that. Yeah, I did miss like the location setting stuff, but I still really, really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to give it a few days to settle before I review it or anything, just because I have consumed 425 pages of it today, and I was on page 75 yesterday, so I read 250 pages of it yesterday, 425 today, and 75 pages of it on Thursday night. So yeah, I read it super, super quickly, did not expect to read it so quickly, so I'm gonna just let myself process it before I rate it or review it or anything. Gonna move on to something very different now, which is The Black Flamingo, which I don't know how many pages long this is. This is 355 pages, just over 360 maybe. So yeah, gonna move on to this. Quite excited to be in something that is a prose contemporary, and not like a super heavy fantasy, but I am really proud of how much I've read so far today. So I've read 425 pages of that and 45 pages of King's Cage so far, so see if I can smash some more today. Definitely got a lot of the day to go. I'm just watching Mal's stream now, so yeah, I will update you more later. So I managed to read a little bit of The Black Flamingo before dinner, which is, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm only like 50 pages in. I feel like this is going to be a super quick read because it is prose. I will just show you how beautiful this book is, because it has all of these illustrations in it. There's my bookmark. And it's just so pretty, and I really, really love it. And also I'm feeling really invested in the story already. So glad I picked this out to read after A Court of Silver Flames, because I really needed the change of pace, and like being able to fly through this has been really nice. And it's a really nice break after, not that I didn't fly through A Court of Silver Flames, but just this is like so easy to read, so gonna sit down and read a bit more of this beautiful book now. So it's nearly 9 p.m. now, and I finished The Black Flamingo. Absolutely loved this book. I'm so glad I picked this up after A Court of Silver Flames, just because it felt like a complete breath of fresh air. Like, reading verse was so lovely, reading something so diverse was lovely. I just absolutely flew through it, read it in just a couple of sprints, so a couple of sittings, took a break in the middle, but yeah, really enjoyed this. I would really recommend it. It covers so much about identity, about gender identity, and about sexuality and coming out, and race, and family and friendships, and drag, and I just think it was absolutely beautifully written. Really, really enjoyed it. and there was just so many important discussions in this, so many heavy discussions, and I really liked the narrator. Yeah, this was an absolutely beautiful book, so I'm really glad that I picked it up. So we now have just over 3 hours before the next prompts drop at midnight. So I don't really want to pick up a prose book that I'm not going to finish in time, just because if it doesn't fall into one of those prompts, then I'll be a bit stuck. So, but I don't want to just not read anything for the next 3 hours. I do have a couple other things that I want to do in the next 3 hours, but yeah, I will be up for the next prompts at midnight, and then I'll probably read for a little bit and go to sleep. So I'm going to pick a new book at midnight that fits both or one of the prompts, and then I'm going to go to sleep. I haven't stayed up for this like some people have. Like some people on the live streams have stayed up and just like gone to sleep. I think Becca got like 3 hours sleep. I didn't do that. I didn't stay up. I went to sleep at about 1:30 last night after reading 100 pages of Silver Flames at the start of the readathon when it started at midnight. So I watched the live show, Becca's live show, at midnight till 1:30. Woke up at about 8:30 this morning, like 8 till 8:30 this morning. So I didn't get quite as much sleep as I wanted to or I normally do, and I'm so tired now. I've literally done nothing today other than go for a run and read, but I think just the concentration is getting to me a bit, and I'm just finding that my eyes are getting a bit blurry now and stuff. So I am just going to take a bit of a break from reading, and then I'm going to dive into another book before midnight, and then I will hopefully finish this before midnight, pick a new book at midnight, read a little bit of it, hopefully, but I'm not going to push myself to read a lot. Go to sleep, and then wake up tomorrow and kind of start again. But probably won't put as much pressure on myself to read so much tomorrow. Anyway, I'm really rambling now, but I have read... So I read 425 pages of Silver Flames and 300, I think Black Flamingo is just over 350 pages. Yeah, 300, it's like 360 pages. Add those together and you get 785 pages. If my maths is serving me right, 785, and then add the 45 that I read on audiobook this morning while I was running of King's Cage, and so 785, 830, so I've read 830 pages today, which is insane, and I'm going to carry on. So my next read that I'm hoping to get done before midnight, I didn't expect to pick up another one, but I'm going to try and read Shadow of the Batgirl before midnight. This is a graphic novel, so that's why I picked it, because I think I will hopefully be able to get it done. I absolutely love the look of this book, and the art style and the colours are just so beautiful. This is, I don't think it has page numbers, but I think it does, it's 205 pages, so if I manage to finish this, I will have read 1,000 pages today. I have never read over 1,000 pages in a day, and the thought is insane to me. So, gonna try and read this before midnight. If I can, that would be a massive achievement. Anyway, gonna take a bit of a break now from reading. Hopefully read that. And then I will speak to you when I've finished, or during, or sometime in a bit. Okay, it's after midnight, so I hope you can hear me because everyone in the house has gone to bed. So I'm just going to talk quietly, but I have so much to update you on. So, the prompts have just dropped, but I managed to finish another book before midnight because I finished Shadow of the Batgirl. I really loved this. I literally sat and just read it in like half an hour, which, yeah, was really cool, but I really, really love this. This basically takes place in a library, and the artwork is just so beautiful. And there is just some amazing characters in it. Like, look at this library. The library is just so beautiful. But yeah, it had a really nice character arc. The side characters were really, really cute. I loved the relationships in it, and it was just a super quick read. It was exactly what I needed right now. So yeah, that was my last book of Saturday, and now we are in Sunday morning. I am not staying up. I am going to bed soon, but I am going to start another book before I go to bed. Prompts have just dropped, and initially I was a bit like, oh, I don't really want to do this, but we've evaluated the situation and picked out some books. So, the prompt that I was probably the least happy about was the first book in a series, because essentially I don't really have a series that I want to start right now. And the series that I do want to start soon or read this year, I'm going to buddy read with Alex, and I feel like I can't just like drag her into the buddy read now, so that's a little bit annoying. So I finally decided to pick this one up, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. This is one that has been on my shelf for so long. The pages are so yellow, you can probably see it in the light. And I've just never really wanted to pick it up. But I have heard that it's a super quick read, I think. So I keep meaning to pick this up to see whether I want to carry on with the series. I don't usually pick up books that I don't own the rest of the series in case I want to carry on with it immediately, but I feel like because this is like, I believe this is like a magical realism contemporary. I could be completely wrong in that. But I think it's a contemporary, but some stuff might happen that is like not in the real world. We'll see. We'll find out soon enough. But yeah, I thought because it's a contemporary, I will hopefully not forget stuff that happens in it too quickly, and I can just go and buy the second one like in a couple of months or whatever if I want to, and if I don't, that's fine too. Anyway, the second prompt was weird because it fell on a chance card, and Becca picked like a chance card up and it had a specific book on, but from what Gav explained on this live stream, which is How to Train Your Gavin, who's on currently and just did the roll drops, from what he explained, I think it was basically randomise your TBR, which is what I've done. I randomised it a couple of times just because I knew I wanted a standalone, and I just went down the list until I found a standalone. So I have gone for The Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. This is another one that's been sat on my shelf for a long time. I actually wanted to read this book probably the longest out of like any other books on my shelf maybe, because I used to see this in the library when I very first started reading YA, so it's been a long time that I've wanted to pick that up. So finally decided to pick that up because of randomising my TBR. Anyway, I've now got to decide which one to start tonight, because I do want to read, even if it's just like 20 pages or something before I sleep, because I'm really tired. But I do want to pick one up, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick up right now. I might pick this one up and just see how we go with it. And then yeah, I will update you in the morning. I actually have an alarm on as well because I really, really want to see Beth's stream. So I have an alarm on for like 5 to 8 just so I can lie in bed and watch that. So I will probably see you bright and early, and we'll be going to sleep very soon. Sunday morning. I'm just watching Book's Nest live stream, and I have just made pancakes because Book's Nest made pancakes and then I wanted pancakes and Alex wanted pancakes, so we made pancakes remotely. I have syrup on the top and biscuit spread in the middle because I wanted both and I couldn't work out how to do that. Anyway, I haven't actually read any more of this today yet because in the sprints I was making pancakes, so I'm gonna start this in a minute. Well, not start this, carry on with this. I'm really tired today, can you tell? I've not had the amount of sleep that I usually do, so I can feel it. This is weird. I was reading it last night when I was super tired, and I don't know if it's just because of that. I only got to page 23, but weird. Also, Alex informed me this morning that I got the chance card thing wrong, and basically it is kind of like randomising your TBR, but it's more complicated than that. So you have to pick, like, I think she said 6 books that you like really want to read and 6 books you don't want to read so much, and then you randomise that list and see what you get. So I'm going to count this because ta-da, already started it. I did actually do the thing for fun, and I got Alice in Wonderland, which I was super tempted by because I was thinking about reading it for this read-along if I got a prompt for it. But because I've already started this, I'm going to carry on with it. Also, it's only 300 pages, so I'm hoping I can read it quite quickly. So anyway, I'm gonna go and eat these pancakes, and then I will speak to you in a bit. Okay, so it's just past midday on Sunday, and the last roll drops just happened, so we have our last 2 prompts. And from what I understood of this, the first board landed on Other, which is basically a book outside of like the 2 genres you read mainly. Now I would say my main genres are fantasy and contemporary, so I am going to count, for now, I'm going to count this book as outside of that, because I am seeing this as historical. It starts in like, I think it starts in the 1900s, early 1900s, and goes through to like mid 1900s. I think it goes through to present day, I'm not really sure. But this is definitely either like magical realism or historical, so I'm gonna count this one for now, but I do have some ideas of like, if I have time to read something else, I will read something else. And then the other prompt was something was set in the present day. I had a feeling this was set in like the 80s, but I have a feeling it's actually now reading the synopsis set in present day because it mentions a lot of stuff on YouTube, so I'm going to count that as present day. I was a little bit worried about having to pick a new book because I feel like I'm reading this so slowly. Like I'm managing to read it kind of 50 pages every half an hour, but the sprints haven't been so long or so frequent in the past 4 hours. I absolutely love Book's Nest, so her live was like really, really good, but because she had new people joining every hour and a quiz, there was just less like reading sprints going on, so that probably is partly the reason I haven't read as much. But I am just over halfway through. I'm nearly 200 pages in, so I've read like 150-ish pages today so far. I'm just gonna carry on and try and get this read. It's okay, like saying it, if I said I was enjoying it, it's pushing it a little bit. It just feels quite dense, and it just feels like there's a lot of characters and I don't really know who they are, and I can't really connect to anybody. It's essentially not even really about Ava Lavender herself, but more about like her family tree and her family, and it kind of covers like her grandparents and her parents and their kind of history. There is a lot of kind of setup, and it just feels like this book doesn't have the room for setup because it's literally 300 pages long. So yeah, reading this, it's okay. I reckon it's probably going to turn out as maybe a 3-star. The writing is really, really beautiful, so yeah. And then if I do manage to finish these 2 books today, which would be amazing, I would really like to do that, but we'll see, then I might go on and read something else, which I will show you. If I do manage to finish those 2, I might read one of these and count it as a book from a different genre because of these being classics, because the 2 books that I'm currently reading are actually for the roll drops that were at midnight, so that is the chance card for Ava Lavender and the first book in a series for Hank Green's An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. So I have already used those, so I'm doubling up on those at the moment, but if I do have time to start another book, I might pick one of these books in the Wordsworth set because that would count as something from a genre I don't really read a lot of because they're all classics. I am a little bit limited in what to pick up just because I'm doing a challenge this year when I'm reading a book a month for the rest of the year from this set, so I can't pick any of those. But there is a few shorter ones in here that I haven't got in that list, like The Jungle Book and Alice in Wonderland. I mean, there is others, but those are probably the shortest, maybe Peter Pan as well. I am very much drawn to Alice in Wonderland at the moment, just because it's something I've wanted to read for a long time, and it's also super short. So I might try and pick up that one this evening if I do manage to get my other 2 books read. But we shall see. I'm going to go and carry on with Ava Lavender now and hopefully make some lunch soon, and I shall speak to you in a bit. It's just gone 2 o'clock on Sunday. Finally finished my first book, which I'm kind of like, feels really late, feels like it took me so long to read, but I didn't really start properly reading Silver Flames until about midday yesterday, so I probably did do a chunk of my reading in the afternoon. So I'm gonna see how much I can get through from now on, but I finished The Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. I've had this on my TBR for probably 5+ years, and it was such a letdown. Like, I'm glad it's done. I'm glad I've read it, and it was beautiful in its like lyrical writing, but it just really wasn't for me. Like, I don't know if I'm just missing something or if I'm not in the right mindset for it, but I just found everything so confusing. Like, it just felt so convoluted. I was bored. I didn't care for any of the characters. I didn't know who most of the characters were, because basically it kind of explained Ava's background, historical, like, family history, and there was a lot about like her relatives rather than actually her life story. It kind of flicked between third person and first person, I think. It seemed to just change halfway through, or at least maybe that's just me. But yeah, there was just a lot in it that I just found boring, didn't enjoy, couldn't connect to the characters because I didn't know who they were. I didn't really care who they were. And then it ended up being really, really heavy at the end, and I was just a bit like taken aback by that. But anyway, I feel like it took me, like, it didn't take me long to read. I was reading about 50 pages every half an hour, like, sprint. But it just took me a while to get through. So, I'm now going to move on to An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. I'm really excited for this. I've heard good things about it, and I think I've heard that it's a super quick read. I think it also has some, like, alternative formatting in this. Yeah, so there's, like, texts and emails, I think, so I'm quite excited for this one, and I'm hoping it's going to be an easier read to get through than Ava Lavender was, but most of my reads have been really enjoyable for this readathon, so that's pretty good going. It was really just that one that's been, like, not so great. So yeah, I'm going to put some more sprints on. Booked and Busy is sprinting right now until 4 o'clock, and then I don't know who's sprinting next, but yeah. So I'm going to watch some sprints, start this book, and I will update you in a bit to let you know how it is. It's just gone 4 o'clock, and I am just over 100 pages into An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. I'm really enjoying it. I'm just not reading it quite as quickly as I expected to, and I don't really know why that is, whether it's just that it's a little bit more words on the page, or that I am slacking. I feel like it might be that I'm slacking, just because I feel really like, I don't know whether I'm hitting a bit of a wall right now, because I've just been reading for 2 days straight. I am really enjoying this book. It's really different and really interesting. I will talk to you a little bit about it later, probably once I've finished it. But yeah, I'm drinking coffee, and I'm gonna have a few of these truffles. If you're in the UK, these truffles are really, really good. A shop assistant in M&S directed me towards them the other day, and they were also on offer, so I would recommend these. So yeah, gonna carry on reading and try and finish this book. I finally finished this book. I finally did it. Okay, this took me a lot longer to read than I expected to. It's now 8:20 in the evening, so we only have like just over 3.5 hours of the readathon to go. I'm gonna be so sad when it finishes, because it's been such a lovely kind of distraction from things at the moment to just completely focus on reading like I never have before in my life. and I've just really liked it. It's given me such a sense of community, watching all of the live streams and having so many booktubers take part and seeing everyone's comments and stuff. It's just been really, really lovely. My friend Alex kind of said it reminded her of Yalk, and I can see that because it just brought everyone together in a way that only kind of bookish events do. But anyway, that's kind of off topic because I finished this book. I loved it. I felt like it was genius, like absolutely blown my mind, and I never really feel like this when I finish the first book in a series, but I need the next one. I need it. Like, this ended on such a cliffhanger. Yeah, this was such a weird book. I'm gonna try and explain what it was about, kind of, but basically it's about this statue in New York, and this girl called April May comes across it at 3 in the morning, and she gets her friend to film her for a YouTube video that then goes viral, like talking about this statue. And then kind of all kinds of mysteries unravel around the statue and loads of people get involved, and there's just so much going on. It's weird because I felt like it took me a long time to get through this. Obviously I read it in basically like one sitting, but it just felt like I wasn't getting through it as quick as I expected to. I think that's because it required a lot of concentration, like so many things were going on that I needed to concentrate at it all the time. So I think that's probably why it took me a while, because I was just sitting there having to focus on every single word, and also I just feel really tired now and just like I need a break from reading after today. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's definitely going to be like a 4.5 or a 5-star for me, but I'm just going to let myself process for a bit, because I think this one's going to be a really difficult one to kind of piece together a review for and a rating for. But this was utter genius, and I loved it, and I loved it more than I expected to, and it was nothing like I was expecting it to be. So yeah, such a weird book, but glad that I ended up reading it. I'm going to actually pick up the paperback copy just because I'm not a massive fan of the cover anyway, and the covers are the same. And I also just want a matching paperback set. Also, this hardback is really big, like it's really tall. So yeah, I'm gonna get a paperback copy and a paperback copy of the second one because I need that in my life now. That was the book falling over. But yeah, utter genius book. Anyway, give me one moment. So as I said, we still have like 3.5 hours of the live stream to go, and Becca is now on for the last 4 hours, and I don't want to finish right now. I do have a couple of things I need to do before midnight, but I am going to try and read Alice in Wonderland. This is such a small book. I think it's only like 150 pages. And it's technically a kid's book, so I'm just going to start reading it and just see where I get to and whether I think this is going to be possible to read before midnight. So that is next in my plan, so I'm going to pop off now, do half an hour of the sprint, see how we go, hopefully finish this before midnight. Wish me luck. If I do finish this, this will be for the prompt that I was kind of doubling up for Ava Lavender of reading outside like genres that I usually read because it's a classic. So I will update you in a bit. Hi, it's just gone 11, so we have like less than an hour left of the readathon, which is insane because it's just been so much of a focus this weekend that it's going to be really weird tomorrow when it's over and I'm not reading all hours of the day. I actually have stuff to do tomorrow again, but I'm so glad that I took this weekend just to dedicate to this because it has been so lovely. But anyway, we're not over yet. We're not done. We finished Alice in Wonderland. Absolutely bloody nonsensical. Did enjoy it. I found it highly entertaining, but yeah, completely nonsensical. This edition is just Alice in Wonderland, not Through the Looking Glass, but I have a beautiful illustrated edition that includes both of them. So I think my next read after the readathon is going to be finishing that like collection and reading Through the Looking Glass as well. So yeah, I finished that. I also just stormed through the graphic novel of Fangirl. This came out last year, and this is just volume 1, so there is going to be more of these. I haven't read Fangirl in like so many years, but I do remember the story roughly. So yeah, this was a lot of fun to read, and this was only like 150 pages. I'm thinking I might class this as contemporary yesterday, which I doubled up on with the Black Flamingo for both of those prompts, so I'm going to count this one as contemporary. But we have another hour to go, just under, so the question is, can I read something else in this hour? Because I reached 7 books, right? So if I read one more, I've done every prompt in the readathon. So I'm just going to read Runaways. I did think about maybe trying to jam another verse novel in there, but I'm like, I don't want to put the pressure on myself to try and rush through that. And I know I can definitely read this in less than an hour. I'm also super excited about this because it's another Rainbow Rowell graphic novel that's set in the Marvel universe. So I've been reading, yeah, a few graphic novels in the past couple of days. So yeah, this one's I think 125 pages, and I am going to count this as a book set in present day, which I was doubling up an absolutely remarkable thing with first book in a series and present day, but I'm actually going to count this as present day because like they talked about it on the live earlier, and it's basically if it's not historical and if it's not set in the future then it counts, and I don't think this is meant to be either of those things. So I am going to count this as present day. So yeah, I'm going to try and storm through this one. And then I will probably update you again. I will be watching Becca's Sprints Until Midnight, which I'm watching right now, so let's go read some more. It is just after midnight. It's 10 past midnight on Monday morning, I guess we're in now. Yeah, Sunday going into Monday morning, and the readathon is finished. I feel like tomorrow is just gonna be so weird and feel so empty. It's like the day after Yelk or something, like post-concert blues. But yeah, this was just such a good weekend and I read so much. I actually ended up reading 1,142 pages today. I think it was 1,142. 700 and I think 84 of those were prose, and then the rest was like 350 maybe. Was graphic novels in the end, and I also managed to complete all 8 prompts in the end, even though I kind of did them a little bit backwards. So I'm going to try and tell you in my tired state, give you a rundown of what I read, because I'm going to be wrapping up the vlog here, which is not what I expected to do when I started it, but I feel like you guys have had so much of me talking about what I'm reading, and I've read so much that I'm just going to wrap this up and call it a like Bookopoly readathon vlog. So I finished A Court of Silver Flames yesterday. This was for the fantasy prompt, and this one probably got 4.5 stars from me. I will be doing my reviews and ratings, so don't hold me to these ratings because I'm going to do them in the next few days. I then read The Black Flamingo, which was originally for contemporary and POC rep and maybe dark cover as well. Absolutely love this one. I gave this one 5 stars. So I read Shadow of the Black Girl for the dark cover in the end. I really enjoyed that one, that was 4 stars. And then I read, I think I'm doing these in the right order, The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, and this was for my chance card, and this one was probably about 2.5 stars. This was not good, but it got it off my TBR for like after years of having it, so, and this one. But I absolutely love this one, and this one I read for the first book in a series prompt, and I absolutely adored it. I think this one will get 5 stars from me. And then I read Alice in Wonderland for a book outside of your usual genre. That one will probably get 4 stars, utterly entertaining and wacky. And then I read Fangirl, the graphic novel, the first one, for the contemporary prompt from yesterday, just because if I doubled up, I tried to choose another book if I could get to it. I did enjoy this one. It'll probably get like 3.5 or 4 stars from me. Nothing amazing, but obviously I already know the story, but I did enjoy it. And then I managed to squeeze in the first part of Runaways. I did enjoy this one. I found it a little bit confusing, so I'm not sure if there's something that I'm missing kind of from the world. And also I just kept reading it in the wrong order because it would change from kind of going across to being over 2 pages, if that makes sense. So did find it a bit confusing, but I did enjoy it. Probably get like 3 or 3.5 stars. I am excited to see where this goes because I think there's about 6 different volumes now, which are like collections of the comics. So yeah, those are the 8 books I've read this weekend, which is insane. I think over the course of 2 days I've read just over 2,200 pages, which absolutely blows my mind. And I'm trying to work out how many of those are prose. I'm gonna say like just over 1,200, 1,300 maybe. And then the rest have been like verse or graphic novels, but I'm still super proud of that. It's not what I expected to do this weekend. I did not expect to read that much. But yeah, I am going to then carry on and read the Through the Looking Glass story, which is in my illustrated copy of the collection, but now obviously I've read the first one, so I'm just going to read the second one. Probably tomorrow, because I'm just going to go and sleep now. So I hope you enjoyed this wild ride of a vlog. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this whole thing. I'm sorry if I've been incoherent or anything, because I am so tired, and I'm probably just gonna not read tomorrow, maybe have a bit of a break. But yeah, I'm really happy with this weekend. Really, really, really enjoyed the readathon, and I hope you did enjoy this vlog. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below, especially if you joined in with the readathon. Let me know what you read, and then subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this that are probably less chaotic and I won't read quite as much. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time in another video.